You know, there is a peculiar thing about dreams. When you are inside one, it feels utterly convincing. The walls have weight. The sky has depth. The people you meet seem to breathe and think and move with a kind of theatrical certainty. Yet the moment you awaken, it all dissolves like mist touched by morning light. And still, for reasons both tender and tragic, we spend our entire lives trying to keep the dream going, clutching its shadows as if they were solid, insisting that the illusion must not slip away. But here is the quiet riddle. You cannot wake up while you cling to the dream. Imagine a person gripping a fistful of water. The tighter they squeeze, the less remains. It is the same with the dream of who you think you are. The harder you try to preserve it, defend it, polish it, the more it crumbles in your hands. And yet the dream is not wrong. It is only incomplete. It is a costume you put on in order to play for a while in the theatre of time. Trouble begins only when you forget it is a costume at all. We humans are extraordinary storytellers. We craft an identity, a name, a face, a reputation, a past and a future, then spend years trying desperately to keep the story from unravelling. We fear that if the dream collapses, so will we. But the truth is far kinder. The dream falls apart, only to reveal the one who has been dreaming it all along. Still, awakening feels frightening. Because waking up means allowing the familiar world to soften around the edges. It means realizing that the things you fight for, the fears you defend against, and the trophies you chase with such urgency are made of the same delicate substance as last night's dream. A quarrel with a friend, a frustration at work, the anxious attempt to maintain an image of being spiritual or successful or wise. These are dream scenes, and the moment you stop investing them with such seriousness, they begin to melt. Ask yourself this: who is the one trying so hard to hold everything together? Who is the one afraid to let the dream shift, change, dissolve? You might say, well, it is me. I am doing that. But who is this me? Is it the voice echoing in the mind? The name printed on your passport? The collection of memories that flicker like fading photographs? Is it the body that grows older each year, changing shape and texture without your permission? This me you defend so strongly is a mirage, a shimmering reflection dancing on the surface of consciousness. It has its place. It helps you navigate the marketplace, answer the telephone, introduce yourself with confidence. But when you cling to it as if it were the whole truth of who you are, the dream becomes a prison. A lovely prison, perhaps, decorated with your ambitions and fears, but a prison nonetheless. I want you to picture a person dreaming that they are drowning. The water rises around them, they thrash and gasp, and none of their heroic effort helps. Yet, in the actual world, they are simply lying safely in bed. The moment they wake, the struggle vanishes without a trace. It was never the water that endangered them. It was the belief in the water. Our lives are much the same. The dream feels heavy until the moment you recognize it as a dream. until the moment you loosen your grip on the identity you thought you had to protect. When you cling to the dream, you strengthen the illusion. When you open your hands, the illusion reveals its nature as a passing play of consciousness, neither threatening nor permanent. And if you listen carefully, you may sense that waking up is not an achievement or a conquest. It is more like remembering something gentle and ancient, something you have always known, but somehow forgot beneath the noise of the story you were taught to believe. Waking up is the art of relaxing your hold on the dream. It is not an escape from life, it is entrance into it. To awaken is not to reject the dream, but to see through it, the way sunlight passes through a curtain and reveals the room beyond. You still play your part. You still speak, laugh, love, work, rest. But beneath it all, there is a quiet recognition that you are not merely the character wandering across the stage. You are also the stage itself, the light upon it, and the awareness in which the entire play unfolds. Most people imagine awakening as a kind of spectacular event, a thunderclap, a moment of cosmic fireworks, a sudden burst of clarity that erases all confusion forever. Yet awakening is rarely dramatic. More often it begins in tiny moments, like noticing the breath at dawn, or feeling the weight of a teacup in your hand. You sense a stillness beneath everything, as though life is breathing you rather than the other way around. Then something subtle begins to shift. You see that the worries gripping you have no true anchor. You notice that the tension held in your shoulders was never necessary. And you realize that the world continues perfectly well without your frantic attempts to control it. It is a humbling discovery, but also a liberating one. For you begin to understand that life is not happening to you, nor are you forcing life to obey you. Life is happening through you, and you are one of its graceful expressions. The ego, that fragile dream character, resists this truth. It whispers that without control, you will be lost, that without your stories, you will be nobody. But look closely, and you will see that the ego is terrified of its own impermanence. It is like a child clinging to the edge of the pool, afraid to feel the water hold them. Yet if the child were to let go for even a moment, they would discover that the water supports them far more gently than the fingers of fear ever could. This is the essence of awakening. Trusting the water of experience, the water of change, the water of uncertainty, the water of your own awareness. When you do not cling, you float. When you do not resist, you expand. When you do not grasp at identity, you rediscover your original freedom. Some people think letting go means abandoning responsibility. But letting go is not the same as neglect. It is the shift from anxious control to attentive participation. A musician does not strangle the instrument. They touch it with just enough pressure to let the music breathe. In the same way, you allow life to flow while responding with sensitivity rather than fear. Consider for a moment how much of your suffering comes from gripping too tightly, holding expectations about how others should behave, clutching old disappointments as if they were precious heirlooms, straining to appear wise, calm, accomplished, spiritual. What if every burden you carry feels heavy only because you refuse to set it down? What if the door to freedom is open, yet you hesitate to step through because you are still trying to bring your luggage with you? To wake up is to place the luggage gently on the floor, not because the luggage is bad, but because you no longer need to drag it everywhere you go. Your past, your identity, your ambitions, your heartbreaks, your victories, your fears, all of them are part of the dream, beautiful in their way, meaningful in their time, but not essential for awakening. Without the constant chatter of the ego, silence begins to bloom within you. Not an empty silence, but a living one. A silence filled with awareness, presence, and a sense of vastness that does not belong to any person. In this silence, you sense that everything you have been searching for was never outside you at all. It was the space in which the search occurred. It was the consciousness looking for itself. And then, one day, you find yourself laughing, softly, quietly, almost with disbelief, because you realize you have been holding your breath for years without knowing it. And in that laughter is release. In that release is awakening. In that awakening is the recognition that the dream was never an enemy. It was simply the veil through which consciousness chose to experience itself for a while. When you no longer cling, the dream becomes transparent. People appear not as threats or puzzles, but as waves in the same ocean. Life no longer seems like a battle to win, but a dance to join. You move not with urgency, but with grace. Not with fear, but with curiosity. Not with desperation, but with wonder. You wake up, and in waking up, you find that nothing was lost. The dream remains, but now you can enjoy it without being trapped by it. You can love without fear. You can fail without shame. You can change without resistance. You can live without clinging. For waking up is not the end of the dream. It is the recognition of the dreamer.